Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to talk about Sanctuary Sacrifice. It's going to be a guide to the build that I've been playing through my SSF HC Paladin. It's a very strong build both in softcore and hardcore. It is very safe and it clears maps very efficiently. It is also relatively flexible on gear, and I don't think it's super expensive either. So a lot of big bright points for Sanctuary Sacrifice. Let's go ahead and look at the build itself. So the build is revolving around two skills, which is Sanctuary and the skill Sacrifice. Now, a lot of people are worried about Sacrifice since it's been nerfed in Season 11 quite a bit. I still think this is one of the better farming maps, better skills for farming maps. It's incredibly good. It's just now you have to put in a little bit more work to make it work, is how I see it. So with that said, let's see what we need to do. So the way Sacrifice works right now is that you will basically you'll hit something with Sacrifice, and when it dies, the overkill damage that you deal to it, so any extra damage plus a percentage of the HP of that monster will end up being part of the damage you deal as an explosion. There's a corpse explosion that happens, and it's half physical and half magical. That's how you do. It's 5%. There we go. So that's how the skill works. You deal some damage to yourself. That's why it's called Sacrifice. When you use it, it has two synergies. But unless you're using a physical-based Sacrifice build, you will not be leveling these synergies. They do not matter to you. They're only there for physical-based damage, which we are not. We are a magical-based Sacrifice. So this is the first skill. The way that it works in terms of levels is that every 5 levels, and it doesn't have to be hard points, just every 5 soft levels, all the way up to 30, you basically gain more radius, all the way to 10 yards from what I remember. So you want to get it to level 30, but you don't need to necessarily put a lot of skill points into it. Just as many as you need to get to level 30 or to level 25 is enough. So this build will incorporate a lot of plus skill items in it. So the more plus skills you have, the better. It will definitely help you get to this level 30 without investing that many points into it, which is kind of like your goal, because that gives you more skill points to work with for your synergies. The second skill we want to talk about before we move to Sanctuary is Joust. Joust is basically your movement, mobility ability for the Paladin. It teleports you to something that a mob that you click on, and as you can see, it gives you some movement speed buff as well. It is kind of core to these Sacrifice builds, and you really want to rely on it to move around. When I do a map demonstration, then you'll see how this kind of works out. So yeah, these are the two skills here that you're kind of leveling. You will be maxing Joust, and you'll get Sacrifice to level 25 or to level 30. Joust has less cooldown based on how many hard points you put into it, so you always put 20 points in here because you need that cooldown reduction. Alright, now for Sanctuary. Sanctuary is your main aura, and you basically use it to do a lot of magical damage and to imbue your attacks with magical damage. And that's kind of the nature of your damage here. Now you'll see it has 3 synergies. You want to make sure you max Blessed Aim. It gives you reduced target defense as well for every point you put in it. So you max Sanctuary, Blessed Aim, Might, and you have Holy Sword. Now this is a build that you play with a sword and shield, so you're not actually using Holy Sword, but you will be maxing it as much as you can for the synergy damage to Sanctuary. You always want to max Sanctuary first, then Blessed Aim, then Might, then Holy Sword. Now that's kind of the skills. In terms of attributes, you basically have enough to wear your gear, and you want to have dexterity to get max block. You'll see that when I use Holy Shield, which you do use with this build, I have 75% chance to block, so I got no problem here. The rest will go into your vitality. Get as much health as you can. You see my health is not super high, but it is okay-ish. Online you can get a lot more. This is of course SSF gear, so it's not optimal for that. And now let's finally talk about that gear. and how you set up kind of this kind of character. So for weapons, there are two options in my opinion for this build. One of them is the Redeemer. Redeemer is great because it gives you +2 to Paladin and 4 to Sanctuary. If you get a +1 Slam, it's even +7 to Sanctuary, so just an incredible option. The downside of Redeemer is that you've got to run a Beast Merc that will give you more attack speed. It's not really a problem. You can run great Beast Mercs, whether it's Act 5 Beast or Act 3 Beast. They both work. So there are great options with this Redeemer. Since I am an SSF and I don't have the best availability on rune words, so I decided not to go with Redeemer, and I'm using an Azarath. That's the second weapon that you want to consider for this build. The aura that it gives does not stack, so the level of the aura does not matter to you, but you get +2 to all skills. You get a lot of flat magic damage, 500 650 magic damage, and it's really easy to hit your breakpoints. It needs just 54 IAS to hit the 8 FPA breakpoint, which is what you want. So Azarath or Redeemer, whichever one you want. The best slams are plus skills and attack speed, generally speaking, or sockets for Azarath. It's also really nice. Let's move to the helm. I'm using a Shaco. Any plus skills helm will work. You can use circlets, Shaco, Steel Shade. You can use like a Nightwing even if you want to, just for the plus skills. Shaco is great, gives you MF, gives you PDR, gives you plus skills and flat life. I really like it personally. Ideally you have a plus skill slam, because again, you remember plus skills are your way to gain more damage, so if you can get plus skills on everything, that's kind of like the best option. But Shaco, great option. It's not too expensive either. In the armor slot, I'm using a Leviathan slammed with plus skills. Generally speaking, you want like any plus skills that you can get there. So an Arcane's Valor, a Carapace could work, a 2-skill armor, rare armors with plus skills to Paladin or plus all skills. Anything works. Since I'm in HC, I was using a Leviathan, gives a lot of defense and PDR. If you are in HC, I think this is a great option. Shaft Stop is also very nice. I personally really like Leviathan to get like really high defense. So again, preference, but you can use any of the options that I listed. Another niche option is using Enigma. It gives you 2 to skills, 5 PDR, gives you a lot of strength, so saves you a lot of HP and gives you a lot of MF. So another great option. If you'd like to use one, it's definitely okay. For the gloves, we're using Drax. Drax is great, gives you a lot of life after each kill. It's really hard to replace Drax, in my opinion. They're pretty much the best for this. You really want to have high life after each kill. You see I'm at 21. You want to have at least 15, so Drax is a great way to get there. In my opinion, it's just like one of those kind of, you cannot replace this. The best slams normally are attack speed, or mana after each skill. These are the things you want to see, or magic find, I guess, is also okay. So any of those would be great for you. For the belt, I'm using Verdungos. I'm using Verdungos with faster on-walk slam. Dungos gives you PDR, life, and replenish life, so all around pretty nice and safe option that you can run. Like, it's pretty good. If you don't want to run a safety kind of belt, like a nice safe belt, you can either run a Nos Coil. If you want to get the IAS from your belt, you don't want to put IAS jewels on anything, and it helps you get your breakpoints. That's another option. You can run just a gold wrap if you want to have really high MF, or you can run an Arax. The Arax will give you +1 skills, which will again boost your damage. I think in softcore, Arax would be my choice personally. Maybe in hardcore, if I found like a PDR Arax, that would be great. The FCR net is not going to matter too, so you can get any Arax really and wouldn't matter. For the boots, I'm using Tankards, slammed with all resistances. Tankards gives you dexterity, PDR, and in this case, all resistances. They're a great pair of boots. Honestly, again, I'm using them for PDR because I'm playing on HC. On trade, you can use rare boots with a lot of resistances. You can use War Travelers for the extra MF. And you can use things like Sand Tracks for FHR. So there's a lot of options of boots. Honestly, this is kind of like the slot that you want to fill in last. You don't really want to focus on the boots too much. I think tankards are great, and I really enjoyed them. So that's what I went with. For the shield, I'm using a Herald Azakaroon. This really helps me get all my resistances up. As you can see, get my resistances capped and overcapped for those of you who play hardcore especially. It gives you 2 to all skills, 2 to combat skills, so as you can see, it helps me get my sacrifice to level 30, and it gets my holy shield at a really high level as well. In addition, it has great amount of defense, and really easy to get max block with it, so really nice shield. Other shields you might want to consider are Skywarden. I think Skywarden is a great shield. I don't know if I have mine over here. I may have put it somewhere where I'm not sure where that is. Yeah, I don't know where I put it, but oh, there it is. So Skywarden, it's a new shield from season 11. It's really good. As you can see, it can give +4 to offensive auras and +2 to paladin in general. With a +1 slam, this will basically get you to like +5 to sanctuary, which boosts your damage greatly. It's one of the best shields for this build. Another shield that you always want to consider is Alma Negra. The reason we use Alma Negra is because it reduces cooldown for Joust. I don't have one on SSF, so I can't really show it. But it reduces your Joust cooldown, which means your mobility is better. So any of these free shields, unique shields, is great. You can also just use things like rare shields with like high +2 skills to paladin, 2 free plus skills, whatever you can find. Resistances, PDR, you know, all these stuff are great on these shields. And yeah, that's pretty much what I recommend you try. So we talked about all this. Now let's talk a little bit about jewelry. So for the rings, generally speaking, plus skill rings, that's the way to go. You want to have a plus skill ring on you. So yeah, that's what I recommend. Having 1 wisp is nice, just so you can summon this little spirit. Gives you a little bit of attack rating. It helps your merc as well. So it's nice to have a wisp. If not a wisp, BKs to have like more flat life is what I would recommend. Yes, SOJ, if you really can't find the other ones, is okay. The slams you're looking for are mostly magic find, life after each kill, mana after each kill, or resistances, faster run walk, things like that, PDR maybe. So all of them can be good for you. Anything else is pretty much not too interesting. But yeah, plus skill rings, kind of like your go-to. It gives you more damage and gets your sacrifice to the right level. For the amulet, generally speaking, you'll be wanting to craft a blood amulet. Blood amulets, they give you life after each kill. You'll look to get +2 paladin skills. If you can get all the way to +4 paladin skills, like 2 paladin and 2 all skill, that's kind of like the GG amulet for this build. If it can have some res on it, that kind of saves you from using runes, which is great. If it doesn't, then it's still okay. As you can see, I can still overcap myself and it's not too much of a problem. And that's pretty much the gear. On the swap, I have a lidless and a CTA. These are just to buff yourself on the swap. You can use a Haas here as well. That would be great. And yeah, just, well, whatever you can find there. You can also find like Holy Shield base for your CTA. If you want to get a really high level Holy Shield, that's definitely recommended. Okay, so we talked about attributes, skills, gear. Let's talk a little bit about charms. For the charms, you'll be running a full inventory of large charms with magic skill damage. They can have +2 to life, faster run walk, right? These kind of things, faster hit recovery. That's the recommended stuff, just to hit kind of like your breakpoints and get as much health as you can. This is SSF, so they're not like the best charms ever. They're the best that I could get. Which is still like good enough. But yeah, that's generally what you do. Then like a paladin torch, a 2 skill Annie ideally. I don't have one, but 2 skill Annie ideally, and you'll have 1 slot left here for a small charm if you want to, or you can run 1 less large charm and put a Geed. That's also okay. Get yourself some magic find, some extra gold find. So either of those work. It's not like one or the other is better or like a must do. So you can do whatever you like. And yeah, that's pretty much the setup. For the Merc, I'm using an Act 2 Merc, Defiance Merc. I'm using him for the PDR and the defense. He keeps me safe. It's a great option for hardcore. Ideally, he would have an Innocence armor and the Ferocity here. So these items are rune wards that let you stay even safer when you're jousting into packs. He will kind of take all the aggro for you. The weapon he's using is a Storm Spire. Storm Spire is a great weapon. It gives you static field, which kind of like softens like packs that you're jumping into. Cast a lot of charged bolt. Other options you can run are things like Zenith if you want to get more resistances. You can run Destruction if you like telestomping, or you can run Doom, which gives you Holy Freeze Aura, which keeps you safer. The other Merc option is running an Act 3 Merc. I think both of the Mercs are good. If you're running an Act 3 Merc, you can run an Act 3 Merc for Cold or for Lightning. The Cold one will give you health regeneration, which is very, very nice, and the Act 3 Merc will give you static. Either way, you will run them with Exile Shields to give you Defiance, and to give you that Decrepify procs that also keep you very safe. So that's kind of like the options here. You could go for Prayer Merc or Holy Shock Merc. Both of them are okay. I just don't have the gear to equip one right now, so I'm going with an Act 2 Merc. Again, very cheap setup. Very easy to make. This is a relatively budget kind of gear. I don't think it's hard to get this like on your first week on ladder. So this could be a really great option for people who are looking for a relatively cheap build to get going. If they just want to kind of like destroy maps relatively fast, but still want to keep it budgety so they don't have to grind a ton for it. And yeah, we talked about charms, gear, merc, skills, attributes. We talked about everything. Now let's do a map just quickly, just to show how it looks like. So let's go ahead and pop this map, and I'll buff myself. Is my gear not swapping for some reason? Oh, there we go. Okay, and as you can see, I have on the right click, sacrifice. On the left click, I have my aura. And yeah, as you can see, everything pretty much dies really fast. I'll hop into a tier 3 map as well, just to kind of quickly show it. As you can see, you try to put a few hits into stuff, then hop to the next pack, and things generally die from the explosion, the corpse explosion they are dealing. I should pick up stuff maybe, I'm not sure. Some like done with my challenge. This character obviously is not gonna get played a lot more. Maybe I would like to do other stuff on hardcore, so maybe it's okay to pick up items. And as you can see, even when we're amped, because we have like a Leviathan, and because we have all that PDR, we're still not negative on our PDR. Even when we get like a low res casts on us, like we're usually still overcapped. So a very safe build that allows you for a lot of sustain. You can see that my health doesn't really go below the maximum as long as I keep killing stuff. And yeah, you get a lot of safety features without really losing damage. Because like unlike elemental sacrifice builds and elemental builds in general, all of my sockets are not used for facets. They mostly are just used for runes and for life after each kill or mana after each kill, if I really need it. So again, a very recommended build. I think it's incredibly powerful. I recommend people try it out. It's not too expensive to make. It's fairly cheap. As you can see, it is very effective. And it is of course effective in all tiers, like you don't have to just run it on tier 1s or tier 2s. Even if you're hardcore and you're a little worried about running tier 3s. As you can see, it is very, very nice. Where's the boss? I just want to show how killing bosses looks like. On bosses, I use Zeal. You don't use your sacrifice on the bosses, it's a little bit too slow. So using Zeal like this makes it faster. And I'll just hop over, I think, to the next map. Oh, no. I guess the game said, no, finish this map. We get a little facet to ID on the video. In your head, you can guess what you think this facet is before I actually ID it. As you can see, running with like around 100 MF inside the maps. This can be higher, again, SSF gear, so not everything is perfect here. I'm not running my Geats right now, so with Geats would be at 160 MF, which is a great place to be in. Pandemonium. I guess we could run that map to demonstrate a tier 3. The game is sending me signs that this is what I must do. I was trying to show that even with conviction, we still have positive res, which is important. You don't want to go negative on anything, if possible. Okay, I see that sanatorium, and I'm not gonna pick it up. And whenever your joust is on cooldown, you can still use your charge. I like having like my charge like available for quick cast, just so I can like reposition myself and have like my joust ready to go right after. As you can see, this build is no problem clearing like very dense areas, like big packs of mobs. You do it pretty easily. You passively deal damage to as you're trying to pick up some loot, which is always a plus. In case you want to start picking up before all the stragglers are dead. And that is the map. Took us about like 5 and a bit minutes. Like our bow just ran out and Holy Shield is still up. We got these heavy bracers. Only 10 to poison skill damage, so I'm not interested. And we got free cold facet. So I guess that's pretty disappointing. Let me imbue a tier 3 map just to show like this build is definitely not a tier 1 only map. Is it very dense? Not really. Trying to get high density. I mean, maybe if this hits a density slam, that would be pretty good. 142, we'll take it. That'll be good enough for our demonstration. So we'll go ahead and hop into the map. Use our Holy Shield. As you can see, here too, very safe, very fast. And again, since you do both physical and magical damage with the explosions, you have a lot of like variability of maps that you can enter. Magic and physical resistances are not like the most common. You're not really blocked from doing all that much. Yeah, you can see that like outside of these like very tanky mobs, like pretty much clear everything with a few strikes. Yeah, that's pretty much how we spent our time on the HCSF Paladin. It was a great way to get ourselves super farmed and level up super fast in the solo kind of like experience. So I think it's a very viable build, early season, late season, at any point. Very cheap to make, very easy to maneuver with. Not very demanding in terms of your attention as well, because of how like tanky you can make it and like how like simple it is to just kind of walk from like one pack to another. Just like use a few sacrifices and just move to the next pack. And yeah, I wish I could show like the Act 3 Merc as well. I think the Act 3 Merc is very strong for this build. I just really don't have the runes for it, so sadly, not in the cards for us today, but hopefully I can show them in a future video, maybe during the beta, if we get the time. We could definitely show all sorts of Merc setups. As you can see, it's been like 3 minutes since we opened this session. We cleared already, like, I feel like almost half of this map. Might be a little wrong, but it's about half. Guess we will see when I'm done. It's okay if not everything is dead, of course. You know, you don't want to be chasing every single straggler. Some of them will also follow you forward. As you can see, like, I didn't finish off everything. Some of them just are like a moment from dying. So they will like passively fall to your aura. Or to your Merc. And of course, with like better gear, like non-SSF gear, you could go a lot faster than this. This build can do like tier 3s in like about 5 minutes. Right now we're at 4 minutes in a little bit, so not even that far from it. It's like SSF gear, and we're in hardcore, obviously, so I don't want to rush too much. As you can see, tier 3, no problem, no feeling of stress, no moments of distress, no chance of dying, nothing of the sort, just a very nice, consistent map clear. Let's make sure we rebuff there. We have this like one more stretch we would like to clear. I like making the jump this way. It's like a nice way to use Joust, save some time. And at about 6 minutes in, we are basically over. You should consider this map at about 7 minutes because I skipped the boss on this map. I don't like killing her. Yeah, that's basically it. That's the build. Sanctuary Sacrifice. It's an amazing way to clear maps, relatively cheap to make, and very strong in return. So I really recommend people check this out. I don't think enough people were building this in Season 11, and it was pretty strong. I don't think enough people have been playing it at all in general. So I recommend you try it out, whether in Season 11 or Season 12 or in the future. And yeah, hopefully this guide helps. If you have any questions, drop them in the comment section below. Feel free, I'll do my best to reply. If people have like specific gear questions, then I'll do my best if I know to help. And yeah, with that said, I'll see you on the next stream or in the next video. Have a good whatever you're having, and until the next time, bye.